Hey guys, Warchild V1 here, back with a new series. This is going to be game recommendations, games that I recommend for you guys to play or at least check out, and I will explain why. I'll give you the pros and cons of these games, and the first one's going to be 7 Days to Die. This game just now released on consoles, both Xbox One and PS4, so that was exciting news. It was a long-awaited port, at least for me. I have really been waiting for this one. I've been playing this game since 2013, back when it was a brand new playable alpha, and it has gone a really long way since then. This game was made by a small team that calls themselves the Fun Pimps, and when you start this game off now on the console port, you have to choose a character. There's, I believe, 10, 12 different characters that you can choose from. Most of them are from Telltale Games, unlike the PC version of this game, which you can create your own character from scratch. To me, that's not really a big deal. You don't really get to see your own character very often unless you're in your character menu, trying to equip different clothes, stuff of that sort. And once you start wearing masks and clothes and everything, you're not really going to see your face anyways. There are 4 different game types: single player, survival multiplayer, creative multiplayer, and private game. Private game is an invite only, where you can invite people to come play with you. That's what I choose every time myself. You have a choice of their pre-built map Novice Game or a random generated map. Now, on PC, the random gen maps are infinite, I believe. On console, they are limited, but it is still a big map. It takes a while to wander through the whole place. And there are 6 different difficulty settings, as well as you can choose if you want the zombies to run or only run at night or never run, or if you want them to be feral zombies that can sense you no matter what, or you could choose how long you have daylight throughout the day. They give you a few different choices on there. Then you get to the modded options, in which you can choose what you drop when you die, if you drop anything when you quit, how long the enemies remember you. 60 seconds is about normal. How much they spawn, block durability, blah 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 blah. Let's get into the game. You start the game as basically a naked person in a random spot of the map. They give you a little welcome letter telling you what's going on, and then in the top right corner they show you a list of things to do to get started. It's like your tutorial. You start with almost nothing. You have 1 can of food, 1 jar of water, a bandage, and your torch. That last block is just to claim your own land. But you can search just about anything. Everything is lootable. This is how you either find more items, or sometimes you'll find tools, guns, other sorts of weapons, food, stuff of that sort. Or else you can actually go hunting. There's some beer, which helps with stamina regeneration, and a can of dog food and an ear of corn. Once you have acquired enough stuff to actually start crafting, you can go into your menu, pick the item that you want to craft, and press up on your D-pad, and it will craft it for you. Everything you craft takes a specific amount of time, but you can craft your own tools, weapons, clothes, all sorts of good stuff. There are many, many items in the crafting menu, which makes this game pretty damn awesome. I would call it something similar to a grown-ups version of Minecraft with much cooler zombies. You chop down trees to get wood, you break down plants to get plant fibers, and you can mix all sorts of stuff together to make your tools, weapons, clothes, whatever you're going to make. In the top right corner, it's telling me I need to make clothes. I've already gathered enough plant fibers. Now we just go to the clothing menu and, pick the clothes that they're wanting us to build. But there are many different pages in each menu. So we need some gloves, a hood, some pants, a shirt, and some shoes. And that's all the stuff that it's wanting me to make. And then you go and equip all this stuff. And that's how you get through the tutorial. You just follow it step by step of what it says to do in the top corner. Once you've finished the tutorial, you've learned how to make campfires, bedrolls, a bow and arrow, a basic club for beating zombies' faces in, stuff of that sort, just stuff for basic survival. Then that's where the real fun begins. Then you get to go explore this huge open world sandbox map. There's stores like this that I'm looking at. That's a tool shop. There's houses. There's libraries, police stations, all sorts of cool places that you can search, as well as you can go hunting. You can kill deer, you can kill pigs, rabbits, chicken, bears if you're brave enough. And then beyond all that, there's an underground part. You can break anything in this map. You can dig just like in Minecraft, I guess you would say. You can dig as far down as you want to go. You will find cave systems and stuff of that sort. You'll find metal and nitrate powder and coal and all sorts of cool stuff down there. And there's all sorts of plant life. These right here are ears of corn. This is a whole cornfield. We're right by a farm. And you can survive on veggies, stuff like that if you want, or you can find canned food, or you can go hunt for your food, but you do have to cook it. You can fill jars with water at the river or the lake. You want to boil them, because if you don't, you could get sick. You can actually get dysentery and start getting pretty bad diarrhea, stuff of that sort. Then you have to find medication or brew certain types of teas to fix that. And on top of getting sick, you can, say, go into a snow biome. You can get hypothermia in the snow biome if you don't stay warm enough. And, I mean, that will kill you. You can get heat exhaustion to where you have no stamina left and you can barely even walk at that point. There's all sorts of different effects that can happen to you. And it always explains them in the bottom left corner, right above your stamina and your health. There's just all sorts of crazy stuff that can go on, and you can get infected by these zombies as well, and there's a few different ways of curing that. If you're in the stage 1 of infection, you could drink a jar of honey, or there's certain herbs that you could take, but it's usually you're gonna have to find antibiotics for the most part, usually. The type of flower I just picked up, this red flower, that's good for making a tea that if you're getting heat exhaustion, you can drink this tea and it'll help cool you off. Or you can put on a cowboy hat. That'll help cool you off. It's pretty in-depth on how the survival works in this game. Now, once it starts getting closer to nighttime, you're going to want to try to find shelter. Once it gets dark outside, it's usually around 2200 hours or 10 p.m., then the zombies get a lot faster. Instead of just walking around slow shambling, they're going to start running at you. So you always want to try to find shelter because it's a little harder to survive when zombies are running. Now, you could change that setting in the options menu to where they'd never run if you would like, or you can set it where they always run. I just leave it on this default setting. I always try to find a house like this, and if you break down the stairs, then you can survive on the upper floors and not really worry about zombies getting up there, at least not yet. Later in the game, after your first 7 days, you'll start running into what's called spider zombies. Those zombies can actually climb walls, and they make creepy sounds. They all make creepy sounds, but they make a different sound. It's like a teeth chattering sound. And they can climb walls and get up inside there if you don't build the place properly. And every 7 days, there is a blood red moon. You get a full moon, and it's blood red. And when that happens, feral hordes come out at night, and what that means is if they're feral, they can sense you through the wall, through the ground, through the anything, as if they just know you're there. They somehow just know that you're there, and they are constantly trying to hunt you on the feral horde nights. So on those nights, you especially want to be inside and be somewhere secure because they can hurt you. And this game actually has physics unlike Minecraft, so if some of these walls are broken down on the bottom floor of the house, if too many of them are broken down, this house can actually all crumble down. So you got to be real careful with that and figure out how to repair stuff, and you don't want your house to break down. Right here, what I'm doing is I'm going to bust down the stairs as fast as I know how, because it's going to be nighttime soon, and we don't want them to be able to come up here. So what you do is you sit down some gas barrels, and that'll help you break the stairs down a lot faster than this cheesy little axe that you start with. But you do want to be careful because you can ruin the foundation of the house, and if you break too much, like I said, the house could come down. I've never had that happen from just a few barrels though, so that's a plus. Now, early in the game, this stone axe is your main tool, so to break down a door like this actually takes quite a while with a stone axe. Usually with metal, you want to use a pickaxe because that'll break down the metal or stone a lot better. If you use a fire axe, it's good for breaking down wood structures and wood doors. But this is all you're stuck with at the beginning of the game unless you happen to be lucky and find a good tool somewhere, you know, before you start busting into a house. But that's how you get into a locked door at the beginning. You just have to break it. Now, once you've survived for a while, you start getting plenty of good stuff in your house. You can find some good guns, some good meds, make little signs to label things. You could build a much bigger base, some gigantic heavy doors that are hard to bust down. There's all sorts of things that you can actually do in this game. It is a gigantic sandbox survival game, and you can just make it whatever you want to make it. This is just one of the houses that I have in this world. I do currently have 4 different locations that I can live in, and this is, you know, you go from nothing to having big stone walls and stuff of the sort, and a big lookout tower, and I even have a little tree farm going on the roof of one of the houses. And you start getting better tools like this pickaxe, and as you use a bow and arrow, you get better with it. So now I can usually one-shot a zombie. If you hit him in the head, you could one-shot him. Or you get better with blunt weapon skills or with bladed weapon skills. Whatever you use is what you get better with. Similar to like a Skyrim, you know, like that sort of RPG. Whatever you do. If you run, you get better at running. If you scavenge for loot, you get better at scavenging for loot. If you break down doors, you get better at mining skills, as they call it, or construction skills. It's just, you gotta do stuff to get better at it, and that's how it is. And what I mean by get better at loot, the more you loot, the more of a chance that you're gonna find better items. That's how they made the game. It's really cool. It's a good survival RPG. We could go put on this cowboy hat or leave our mining helm on. Here's the level up system. You have pages of things that you can actually level your skills up in. As you level up, they award you 5 skill points, and you can go spend these skill points on whatever you want. Like, for example, scavenging. This I've actually done just from looting, and I actually pumped points into it. Quality Joe. It makes it where I find better quality items than just searching. There's multiple things you can level your skills up in, just like a regular RPG style game. Oh, look at this, a locked door. We have the right tool for the job. See, if you have the right tool, it's way easier than using that damn stone axe that you start with. So you go from not much of anything to surviving and thriving. So what do I think about the game overall? I think it is one of the best survival genre games that there is, and I'm excited that they ported it over to console. Now, the one downside is it doesn't run quite as smooth as I would like it to for a console game. About every 30 seconds to a minute, you may get a 1-second pause in the game. It actually has a little bit of weird, you know, freezingness to it, but it doesn't make it unplayable. When that happens, even if you're playing multiplayer, it happens to everybody. So if a zombie's coming at you, it happens to that zombie too. So that zombie's not gonna kill you while the game has its little half-second freeze. It's weird. But you can cook all sorts of food. You can make bacon and eggs. You can cook steak. It is a pretty damn big, in-depth game. The buttons are very intuitive for crafting. All around, I would call it a very excellent game. They're still working on the game, and in fact right now they're saying that it's only a 4-player co-op, and it doesn't have to be co-op. It could be PvP, anything of that sort. You can kill other people or work with other people or whatever you please, and they're talking about updating that to 8 people sometime in the future. We're currently on build 1.02 on this console port, and they're on 14.2 on the PC. So that's where we're at right now. That right there, you just saw it. The little game freezy glitch that it does every once in a while, it kind of sucks, but it's not the worst. It doesn't make it unplayable. And yes, some of the textures are a little outdated. You gotta figure this was made by a very small team, and it was actually made a few years ago. It has gone a very long ways since then. If you look at a hill in this game, it's a gradual hill. You know, you can just walk up it like you would a normal hill. It used to look like Minecraft. When this game first came out, hills were big blocks that you had to jump up. It was kind of odd. But they have smoothed out all the hills. They have smoothed out all the ground when you're mining. It's not all just a bunch of squares. It is a really cool game that has gone a really long ways. There's an airdrop. It's kind of weird. You see the drop before the plane, but whatever. There's an airdrop. They usually have medications and sometimes some schematics for you to learn how to make different types of tools. But there is so much to explore and find and loot if you're into that kind of thing. This is something I normally do, which is I go mark the airdrop on the map, and then I'll go find it later, because it'll actually disappear off the map and the compass once it hits the ground. So I mark it so I can go find it later when I'm done looting a town or killing a horde of zombies or whatever I happen to be doing at the moment. So even though this game has already been ported over to consoles, they're actually still working on this game. Hopefully they'll get it running a little bit smoother. For the most part, it runs great until that little freezing glitch about once a minute or so. Like I said, it's not that bad. It's not going to get you killed, because when it happens to you, it happens to the whole world, as well as anyone in your world. But the game is great. I love it. It's one of my favorite survival games, because you have to eat, you have to drink, you get better at running by running, you get better at archery by shooting a bow and arrow, you get better at building a gun by reading books about how to build that gun. You get better at shooting by using a gun. It is just a really cool RPG style level up system, as well as a full voxel game. Anything is destructible. You can break anything in this game, including the ground. You can build anything in this game. There is one type of vehicle currently. You can build a mini bike in which you can ride around on. Or there's a few other gas engine tools that you can get, like you could build an auger or a chainsaw, stuff like that. Or you could build lighting systems for your house. There's all sorts of really cool stuff in this game. I do highly recommend it to anybody that likes survival genre games or voxel games, either one. You can actually turn off zombies where there's no zombies, and all you have to do is survive, if that's your thing. For me, there's not enough to do. Here's a schematic right here. We can read the book and learn how to make a wrench. Now I can make a wrench. It's good for repairing walls, repairing anything that's broken. It is a good tool. You can also take apart cars with it and get cool car parts that are useful. You can make mines out of hubcaps or whatever you want. There's just so much to do in this game. I have nothing but good stuff to say about it, other than its little bit of a laggy glitch that it has so far on console. And the view distance isn't quite as far as it is on PC at all. But the sounds in this game, the different biomes, there's deserts, there's flat plains, there's frozen areas, there's forest areas, there's like this whole burnt town that's just everything looks like it burned down. There's an area that looks like blew up by a nuke. There's all sorts of biomes that you can go to and explore and find really cool stuff. So this is just the first video of games that I recommend. I hope this helps you decide if you wanted to get the game or not. This game, I really love it. I have hundreds of hours in it, not on console, but on PC. I have at least 50 hours on console, though. And I highly recommend this game to other people. So let me know what you think, and let me know if I should keep doing videos like this, because this is my first time to do a recommended series, and I'm going to see, how it goes. If you guys like it, then I'm going to make a lot more of it. If you don't, we'll see. Hope you guys are enjoying my whole channel in general. Please comment, like, and sub if you haven't. And I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.